Hero of Time asks, "Hey, GameOverJesse and Lorulian Historian." What?
That's not who I am.
Maybe that was left on. Okay, that was on Discord for the other day when we did the mini mailbag. But he says, "Would you like to have more bosses in the next Zelda game, like Varen, Onyx from Oracle Games, or something new?" So Varen and Onyx were Capcom.
Oracles.
Yeah, they were made by Capcom. Games. So, like with Vati and some of the other stuff, Nintendo doesn't really have the rights to use those because they were like Capcom owns part of it and Nintendo owns part of it, which is why some of the characters in Super Mario RPG, which was made by Square, even though Nintendo owns Mario games and stuff, they don't own those characters. That's why you never seen some of them show back up in future Mario games, unless they had a very specific agreement. So the characters that you named off, there would have to be something there with Capcom for them to reuse those. And Majora is like a fan favorite, and we still haven't seen anything even hinting or relating to him. So, other than like the wearing the mask, so
yeah, the mask showing up kind of in the background here and there.
So, to alter this question a little bit, are there any? And this kind of goes with the question we had before because it was about mini bosses. But with this, they're saying, what kind of bosses would you like to see in the next Zelda game? Give an idea for a boss that you would like to see, and then give a boss from a past game that you would like to see returned. Like there's a lot of 2D Zelda games that has really awesome bosses that haven't been featured in a 3D game.
That's true.
So I'm going to say the obvious. I would like to see Majora return because I want to know more about it. So
yeah, no, I definitely agree there because we don't know enough about Majora, right?
Yeah, and then the boss from A Link Between Worlds, where you had to like go 2D on its shield to dodge.
Oh, that was like Blind the Thief.
Yeah, the Thieves' Hideout or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so he was in A Link to the Past as well, but he didn't. The boss fight was different, which I really liked that they changed it to fit that game's mechanics.
Yeah, and anytime there's a dragon, I'm a big fan of like Valvagia, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Argarok from Twilight Princess. Valu wasn't necessarily a boss.
But he was a boss.
Yeah. So yeah, starting with you, Daniel. Who are some bosses?
A boss I'd like to see return. Well, geez, I mean, there's some really good, like, we haven't seen, like, any classic, like, Aquamentus or anything like that from, like, the NES Zelda games.
That was a dragon as well.
Yeah, it was a unicorn dragon.
my favorite kind.
Or at least a dragon with a horn, I don't know. But, like, yeah, like you said, like, all of the dragon boss fights have always been really cool. I think there was one in Zelda 2 as well, but he was more like Valdivia.
He had a different name in the original, but whenever they brought it to the Game Boy Advance, they renamed it Valvagia or Valvagia. I don't know how to pronounce that dragon's name, so
let's just all agree to pronounce it differently and confuse everyone.
But no one gets a clear pronunciation.
From the chat, Gibbs says Volga from Hyrule Warriors. Ashley says Twinrova.
Twinrova, yeah.
So,
yeah. But let's see. What was the other? Was this a two-part question?
What?
So that's a returning boss.
Yeah, returning, and then what would you like to see?
Yeah, I guess I answered it already. So Kayla.
That's such a hard question because I honestly don't really think about the bosses when I'm fighting them, or if I even really have favorite bosses. I'm so...
Phantom Ganon was pretty cool too.
I really like Phantom Ganon. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see them bring back some of like the older bosses, like from NES Zelda games, because I feel like they could really improve on those characters and what they do.
Yep.
And I just really like to see that way that they get done now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Pick
and
our
not just Dark Link.
Pick our next question, Daniel.
Okay.
And then we'll get Ashley to pick after that, and then we'll take 2 from the chat, and then we'll be done. So 4 more questions.
Okay. Let's see, which one did we not already do? Okay. This one, I think we've answered this one already, but I mean, Kayla wasn't here, and I guess we'll kind of go over it again. This one's from Hero of Time. Hero of Time asks, can you talk about which Link is the most tragic one throughout all of the Zelda series? I think it was Ocarina of Time Link.
A Link to the Past begins with your uncle dying.
That's true.
And your mom and dad are probably already dead.
And the last thing you see of that Link is him being lost at sea.
Yeah.
So who knows what happened after that?
Depending on
probably
which
died. I mean,
depending on which timeline you look at, he has, what is it?
Adventures, really.
Yeah.
Like
so
the
Hyrule Historia's timeline has him go through A Link to the Past, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and then Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
And then in Link's Awakening, the way it ends, everyone that you met and built a connection with, they don't necessarily die, they just disappear.
Cease to exist.
Yeah. It's like they never existed. So I imagine that's pretty crazy. Majora's Mask, he has to keep reliving the same 3 days over and over and over, but then you can go back to Ocarina of Time to where you can assume your mom and dad's already dead. The only father figure that you've ever known is the Deku Tree, but he dies at the beginning as well. The bully of Kokiri Forest, Mido, blames you for it. And then you go on your quest, you become friends with the Zora, the Gorons, everyone. And then, once you're an adult, you find out all the people you met in Hyrule Castle, their homes are destroyed. You go to Kakariko Village, it eventually burns down, sort of. Lon Lon Ranch is completely taken over by evil Luigi. All of the Gorons that you met and became friends with are being fed to a dragon. The Zoras that you met and became friends with are essentially frozen to death. And it's like the whole world gets turned upside down in Ocarina of Time. And then in Majora's Mask, he lives through the same 3 days over and over, and then depending on the timeline you look at, he's like a skeleton in Twilight Princess teaching his great whatever grandson. But then in the Downfall timeline, he dies. So he's the only Link that canonically fails to save Hyrule.
That's true.
So, Wind Waker Link, his sister gets kidnapped, but everything kind of works out for him. Even in Phantom Hourglass, there's nothing that bad.
Still got the happy music. His life is going okay. It's fine.
It might suck being in the heat, but that's the only bad thing that I can really think of.
I never really thought about Ocarina of Time like that. Now I just
now it's so sad.
I feel really different. I feel sad. I feel like I'm gonna play that game and just cry.
Emo Link.
I think I think Hero of Time might very well be the most quote unquote tragic one. Then if we're going by all that, because it's the other Links don't really have much bad stuff happen to them. Twilight,
Wind Waker Link. Everybody remembers that Link, the Hero of Time, was a huge hero. There's a statue of him in the castle when you get the Master Sword. But in Twilight Princess, nobody knows he saved Hyrule. So it's that's my thing.
This is just upsetting.
Did you guys have anything final to say? I kind of took over that question. I apologize.
No, that's fine. You
had a good answer.
All the bases there.
And there's no real story in like Zelda 1 or Zelda 2. Minish Cap, it's his friend. Minish Cap starts out with like everything's all happy. Zelda's like, come to the carnival or whatever it is, and then you talk to all the shopkeepers. But then Vatty comes. So, Ashley, pick our next question, and then everyone that's watching.
It's not Ashley.
Okay, if you look at the comments, Ashley says he called Kayla Ashley.
That's funny because
earlier.
You've been saying Ashley, and this entire time I was like, oh, I wonder what Ashley's doing. You were talking about me. I'm Ashley.
I feel like an idiot, but yeah. So
hello everyone, my name is changed from Kayla to Ashley.
No, like earlier I called you Ashley and it was like that was like an honest mix-up, but this time Ashley said that I called you Ashley, and then it just like I need to pay attention. Like it literally has your name on the screen, but like I keep calling you Ashley.
I'm so offended.
Yes, but what
okay,
question?
We're gonna call Jesse something else. We're gonna call him Steve for the rest of the podcast.
And then, like, to make
Game
it
over,
worse,
Steven.
if you've been in the Discord, everyone's been changing their name to Ashley. So there's like 15. There's like.
Oh no. Okay. So now that I know that I'm Ashley, my question that I'm picking, Colin P. Mitchell. What is one Nintendo game you would like to see at E3?
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
I want Yoshi.
Can't just grab the mic and lean in and just say Yoshi. That doesn't
Yoshi.
say
Yes, I can. This is my show.
Okay, so what I would want for me would be whatever the 2D Zelda game is going to be. I want to see that get announced. But for Nintendo as a whole, I would like to see Smash Brothers be announced and come out, because everyone who would be interested in buying a 2D Zelda game would have likely already bought the Switch to play Breath of the Wild. So there wouldn't be many people buying a Switch just to play the 2D Zelda game. It would mostly be people who already owned a Switch. But if Smash Brothers comes out, then there are tons of people who would buy a Switch just for that game. So that's what I'm going with. Personally, I would like to see 2D Zelda, but for Nintendo, so they can get a lot more units out,
I was gonna say Smash is
Brothers.
what's gonna make their money.
I still want Yoshi.
Yoshi.
That's it? Oh, that was actually your answer?
That's actually... I love Yoshi, man. Come on.
Passionate.
Yoshi's wholesome. Okay, also, I would like to know more about Metroid, but we've talked Metroid to death in previous episodes.
It's okay.
But
the entire world has talked Metroid to death.
I love Metroid. So.
I don't think Metroid would sell too many more Switches either. Like, I think that would be another game to where it's like 90% of the people that would buy it already own a Switch. So.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. It's just kind of my own personal wish list. But
in the chat, Gibbs says Star Fox.
Star Fox.
The Game Informer says Animal Crossing.
Yes, Animal Crossing.
Informer?
Phil Brush. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Oh, it's Game Informer.
Okay.
As opposed to Game Informer magazine.
Yeah. Phil Brush says Luigi's Mansion 3, which I would love to see. Luigi's Mansion 3. Alright, so everyone in the chat, give us your questions that you would like to have answered, and after this last question we will pick 2 of them. So picking a random one. Let's see. Hero of Time says... No, we already took those. I think we actually went through most of these questions. We were only supposed to...
So.
Alright, Just Cliff says, how would you like to see Game Freak revitalize the Pokemon series in the upcoming game for Nintendo Switch? He also asked the same question in the chat, so he posted in the Discord and the chat.
Oh, yeah, he really wants that answered.
Yes. And then for the last question, Victor says Pikmin 4.
Yes, okay. Good answer.
Pikmin 4.
Pikmin's not a system seller either. It's a very much a niche game as far as Nintendo's like IPs go, but I just love those little guys. Just, although Pikmin is more tragic than any Zelda game because it's like a mass grave. It's like, you know, you expect like this kid-friendly game, and then it's just like your soldiers falling in battle, and you just are crying because all the little ghosts fly up. There's a meme about this. You have to look it up. Let's just go to the next question.
All right. Well, how would you like to see the Pokemon series revitalized?
I think we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we can do this one kind of quickly. I would say like more of an open world-ish game, like more of a 3D focus instead of it being just like top down.
Yeah, I agree. Like like if you have like more of a like not 3D in the way that like Pokemon Sun and Moon were like technically like 3D, but like a proper like 3D worlds.
Yeah. Well, kind of like what I mentioned earlier, Gale of Darkness for GameCube was a really good example of how they managed to bring Pokemon to more of a 3D setting. So yeah, I feel like if they want, like if we were to see something different for Pokemon on Nintendo Switch, it would definitely be going in a more 3D direction, but then it would make like doing online capabilities really difficult. I just feel like the bar is set so high for a new Nintendo Switch Pokemon game.
I think we'll love it either way, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're Nintendo fans. We eat it up. We don't care.
That's like I said. Like if Nintendo released a toaster, people would buy it because it has the Nintendo logo on it. Yeah. And that includes myself. So.
All right. I think
What's next, Jesse?
Gibbs, our second to last question. Do you see it?
I should open the chat.
Okay. Well, okay, so Gibbs says, what is a PlayStation game that you would like to see ported to the Nintendo Switch?
Oh. Well, I really wanted Rocket League, and then we got it. So, I guess, Crash, man. Give me
Crash
trilogy.
would be great on Nintendo Switch.
I would say
so many hours of rage-induced fun.
There's a lot. Like, I think it would be cool to get Overwatch or Destiny because there's no games like that on the Switch.
Oh, that's so weird. When I think Overwatch, I think like PC game. I forgot people play it on PlayStation.
I guess it's multi-platform.
Yeah. And I think that would be...
I thought it meant like PlayStation exclusive. That's what I thought.
Oh.
When he said, I don't know. I might have jumped the gun though on that.
Well, like
maybe some Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, there was the rumor where they said they were like trying to put Final Fantasy 15 on the Switch, but they like couldn't get the engine working, so they're trying to like move everything to Unreal Engine.
I mean, they could do the 7 remake and put it on the Switch. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I would get the nostalgia fluids pumping, so that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like.
And everyone's been overhyped with that game for years.
It's true.
I think. See, like, there's a lot of games. Ni no Kuni 2. It's a cartoonish Wind Waker looking RPG game. And I would like to see it come to the Switch because it has like the first one was for PlayStation 3 and the second one's for PlayStation 4, but it looks identical to the Wind Waker. So I don't think they wouldn't have to downgrade it to get it to run on the Switch, because like if the Wind Waker can run on the Wii U, then this game should be able to run on the Switch. And I would like to see that as my game. And I don't think there were any more questions, so that brings us to the very end of our podcast. Kayla, Daniel, thank you both for joining on this episode of the podcast.
Thank you for joining.
Yes.
Jesse.
Thank you,
Steve.
Jesse, for joining.
Yeah.
Game over Steven.
Game over Steven.
So for everyone who is watching that may not know who you are. Go ahead and tell us all about you again, Daniel.
Oh, me? Y'all, I hope you know who I am at this point.
We'll get to Kayla second.
I'm Daniel.
You know what else it is?
Oh,
no, sorry. I was trying to think, like, my ex is named Kayla. So it might be, like, subconsciously I just don't want to say your name.
Daniel first, Kayla later. Or Ashley, whoever I am. You can just call me Chewy. That's my online handle. It's fine.
Chublima?
Chublima.
Is it just because you like Chewie from Star Wars?
I am so passionate about Wookiees.
I love
so
Chewie.
passionate. You have no idea. Anyways, Daniel, tell us about yourself.
So who am I? I'm Daniel. I co-host this DAG podcast. I also have a website called Burgerson Media. And my Twitter handle is @CaptainBurgerson. Jesse probably put it in the corner right here.
Yeah,
probably.
As always.
As usual. So you should probably follow me. I haven't gained a single Twitter follower from plugging my Twitter in this podcast every week for like 6 months, but it's still worth mentioning. And yeah, sometimes I work on other projects, and if you keep track of my Twitter or my website, you can follow along to see what I work on. Mostly I work on this channel though, so just stick around here.
Alright, and Kayla, where can people find you?
Oh gosh, where can people find me? I don't know if Jesse did the thing, but I have him on Twitter too, and I think my Twitter is like Chublima or something, which we had this conversation. If you need to find me anywhere, Chublima. You can literally Google me. I'm everywhere.
And what kind of posts can they expect? Because you don't have a YouTube channel, do you?
I don't have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not an internet person like you guys. I don't post about video games and stuff. I just exist somewhere on the internet.
She has a real life.
I mean, I do have a real life, but I'm also a brand ambassador and I love video games, so yeah, like
if you're in Vancouver, you can find Kayla at Nintendo events.
Don't find me ever. Oh yeah,
find her
in the Wario conference room. That's where I am.
Yeah. Is that a real room?
It's a real room.
Take me.
Yeah, Kayla was talking about that whenever you were before you got on. She was talking about the room because we were talking. Room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they paint it yellow with a purple table?
Yeah.
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 I'm excited for it. For a room.
It makes me wonder what other rooms they have. Like if there's a Wario room, is there like a Tingle room?
Can we just stop with the Tingle for like...
Why?
Alright everybody, I am GameOverJesse, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything / GameOverJesse, really easy to find, but please go follow Daniel on Twitter, go follow Kayla on Twitter, head over to our Discord where you can chat with us, make fun of Daniel, make fun of me, make fun of Retro, join in on all the fun. Bye everybody.